Hi guys, Callum here from Challenge Munro, and today I'm going to talk about layering for the outdoors. Now I am aware that there are hundreds if not thousands of these videos already on the internet, but if you're like me, hopefully you'll enjoy learning about why and how other people do things. So if you couldn't tell already, I am from Scotland, which means I think about two different climates when I think about how I layer my clothes. I think about it being cold, and I think about it being very cold. I joke, of course, Scotland does have wonderful summers for about 3 weeks in the end of July. So let's get started. I'll work from the top down, so let's look at my head. So I own a couple of hats, and which hat I wear will always come down to what the weather conditions are like. If it is particularly cold, I'll go for this blue and black fleece lined bad boy, because it's super warm. And if it's milder, I'll go for this grey beanie, which is not fleece lined. I'm a big fan of a buff, or snood, whichever is your persuasion. I own this fleece lined buff, which is particularly good because it sort of gives you the best of both. So the only other item that I may use on my head are sunglasses. I've got two pairs, one for the summer months, which are just a really lightweight pair, and a pair for the winter months. These are glacier glasses and they offer much better protection for your eyes during the winter. Moving on to my torso, next to my skin I'll always have a base layer, and there's loads of arguments for and against the different types of base layer materials that you can get. For me it's quite simple, it boils down to two rules: what's my budget and what's the purpose of the item. So if I need to wear something for days on end, I'll generally go for merino or a synthetic that's been treated with the likes of polygene. If it's more of a day hike, if I only need to wear it for one day, I'm more than happy just using a standard polyester base layer. Never wear cotton in the mountains. It's terrible at wicking, and once it's damp, it will never dry out. Depending on the conditions, you could always team two base layers together if it's particularly cold, for example. Next layer is often referred to as the mid layer, and for me that usually means a fleece. Now I've got a couple of different fleece options. I have a lightweight fleece for when it's milder, and I have a heavier weight fleece for when it's colder. So next you might want to think about some heavier insulation, or as it's often known as, the insulation layer. That could mean a down jacket, or for me, that means my Rab Xenon synthetically insulated jacket. The key to this layer is about warmth and packability. So you probably want something that you can keep in your bag and bring it out as and when you need it. Final layer on your torso is your outer shell. This layer should be completely windproof and completely waterproof. So this particular jacket is sadly coming to the end of its life. It has seen some of the most horrendous weather that the Scottish mountains can throw at it. And to be fair to it, it has stood up to everything. So one thing to bear in mind when it comes to your outer shell is that you'll probably want it to go over every item of clothing that you currently have on. Now that could mean 3 or 4 different layers already. So what I did was I went a size up. I can't think of anything worse than being on a hill in the torrential rain and having a jacket that doesn't fit me properly. So when it comes to my hands, again I think about milder conditions and colder conditions. I generally like a liner glove. This is a particular pair from Sealskins, which is fully waterproof. Also has nice grippy bits on it in case you are scrambling, and it's also touchscreen compatible. I tend to find this is quite important because I use my phone a lot, whether that's navigation or whether it's for taking pictures. If the conditions are a bit more extreme, I'll go for this pair. These are also from Sealskins, so they are fully waterproof. They're also PrimaLoft insulated, so they keep your hands roasty toasty. They have a leather palm and leather fingertips, which means they're really hardy. They're also very dexterous as well, so it's good if you're using an ice axe or any other kind of tool. And onto the legs. So like the torso, I would start with a base layer if it is particularly cold. These are a pair of Powerstretch leggings. They are very comfy, they're extremely warm, so hence why I only really use them if it's particularly cold. So I'm currently lacking a pair of trousers because up until fairly recently I had 2 pairs of trousers, one for the summer months, which were in Mountain Equipment Ibex, but sadly these have started to develop some holes. Some were my fault, some were the natural wear and tear of the trouser, They were over 5 years old and now they've been retired from mountain duty and they just get used for DIY around the house. My second pair of trousers are my Rab Spire trousers. Ideal for the Scottish winter in my opinion. They are stretchy, they are padded in the high wear areas, they have abrasion resistant patches as well so you don't put a crampon through them. Overall, just a fantastic trouser. Final layer on my legs are my waterproof and windproof over trousers. These are a Gore-tex pair from Berghaus. They've seen some right harsh weather and they've never let me down. I would say they're pretty much indestructible. Like all outerwear, they do need cleaning and they do need reproofing, but take care of them and they'll take care of you. If the conditions are really bad, I'll throw a gaiter on as well. These are from Trekmates, they're fully Gore-tex. They have abrasion resistant areas at the bottom of them, which is great if you're using crampons. They're fantastic if there's deep snow or if it's really muddy. I know a lot of people don't use a gaiter or don't like a gaiter. For me, I would much rather have them and not need to use them than think I need to use them and not have them. On my feet, I go for my tried, tested and trusted Meindl Bhutan boots. So when it comes to underwear, I am admittedly a bit of a snob and I only really wear merino wool underwear when I'm in the mountains. And trust me, once you wear merino wool, you'll never want to wear anything else. These are Icebreaker boxers and they are 100% merino. Socks, I always tend to go for Bridgedale, not sure why, I just found that I really like them. These particular pair is a 50-50 blend of merino wool and synthetic. So from a clothing point of view, that's pretty much it. Now there's no one-stop shop for how to layer properly. It's all about what works for you. Now the reason why I layer the way that I do is so that I can always be comfortable in the mountains. The best thing to do is just to try things out, is to figure out what works for you. The only way that I've managed to figure that out is just by doing it, by trying out the different layers in different conditions until I find ways that just work for me. So hopefully you found this to be helpful. If you get any thoughts, questions, suggestions or advice for me, please leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. And until next time, be bold, be brave, and we'll hopefully see you in the hills sometime soon.